If you want to get better at CSGO, you need to be using workshop maps and you need to be using them effectively. I've put a ton of time practicing in workshop maps on my road to level 10, and man, it's really easy to waste time in these maps when you want to be improving. So I'm going to give you 7 workshop maps you need to be using, along with how I use them to leverage them best for rapid improvement. Also, this video is sponsored by Skins Monkey. Yay! Skins Monkey is a swaggy automated CSGO trading site. It's super easy to use. All you have to do is pick something in your inventory, check how much it's worth, and then go get something new from the monkey. What's also super nice is the filters you can use to narrow down your searches. So you can either use your skins to trade for new ones or deposit money with their 30% bonus. This becomes 35% with my code Wilson. Please use it. Along with this, you can get up to $5 free. Use my code Wilson. The link is in the description. Thank you, Skins Monkey. While not focusing on mechanics, this map is hugely important and it helps you perfect your config. Here's a quick list of what you can do in this map. You can adjust your view model. You can change your crosshair. You can perfect your radar settings. You can change your HUD. I like mine purple. And lastly, you can assign some really important keybinds. Now, a lot of this stuff is up to personal preference, but 2 things I would say you absolutely need to do in this map is number 1, zoom your radar out so that you can see the whole map when you're playing. You want to have a picture of the map so that when your teammates aren't communicating, you know what's going on. Along with this, I want you to bind jump throw. Now, I know a lot of people maybe are procrastinating or haven't done jump throws yet, but you will. You will, I promise you, and it's super useful to have a bind for it, so please do this. Aimbots is kind of the workshop map in CSGO. It is so important. You see it everywhere. Everybody uses it, especially if you're newer to the game. This map is an essential playground to figure out the mechanics, to get comfortable with the sprays, to get comfortable with the different guns. It is so important. But in my opinion, and this might be a little bit of a hot take, if you feel comfortable and in tune with the basics of CSGO, with counter strafing, with flicking, with how the guns feel, you should not be absolutely grinding the fuck out of this map. I use it all the time. I love it as a warm-up map to just get comfortable, get in tune with my muscle memory again, but I don't spend hours in this map. I don't do 3,000 AK headshots, 1,000 M4, fuck all that. I don't like that shit. I think the other maps on this list are much better at focusing on areas you specifically want to improve in. I think that running around in aimbots, I can do it and I can feel snappy as hell. I can feel amazing, but then when I get into a game, I don't feel nearly as good, and that's because aimbots is aimbots. You're running around clicking on still targets. It's super easy to get really good at it, but once you're thrown into a game, there's so many other skills you need to use, and those other maps, they practice those skills in a much better way. So that's just my opinion. I love it. It's an amazing map. I love it for warm-up, not for hardcore aim training routines. When I use it, I close 3 sides, I reduce the bot count, and then I run around, counter strafe, tap, tap, tap. I just get warmed up. I get loosey-goosey. I practice some sprays against the wall. I practice spray transfers. I don't do these 200, 300, gotta kill this many bots and spend 45 minutes in this map. I personally don't like it. And if you do, that's totally fine. That is totally fine by me. That's just my 2 cents. Anyways, it's also great for opping. I do like to use it to improve at opping. I think the peek walls are super helpful. I'll reduce the bot count a lot and then peek behind the walls and try to flick onto bots. I also just run around and practice flicks and counter strafing with op. I find that super helpful. I'm sure you'll find ways that you can leverage the map the best. That's my opinion. Now, the YPRAC map guides. Oh my God, we are blessed by the existence of these maps. They are it's a chef's kiss. They're so good and you need to be using them. I've spent countless hours using these maps and I mostly use 3 modes in here. The first one is the practice mode. Now, this is the mode that just throws you in the map, no restrictions. You have infinite nades. This is my second home. This is where I make my videos. This is where I learn new util. I run around, goof off. I do a little imaginary scenarios where I pretend something's happening and I have to figure out problem solving. It's awesome, bro. You can use it so well. So when you watch nade videos or you watch pros and you see a nade you really like, go into a practice map, go into YPRAC and practice it, get it down, because lots of times I see those videos and I'm like, oh, I should use that, and then I never do because I don't practice it. But if you jump into one of these maps, get the nade really down, play around it, figure out what's the best kind of plays to make off of it, there you go. Now you really got it in your head. Now, the second mode I use a ton is the pre-fire mode. This is a great option for practicing your crosshair placement, figuring out just common places people will play on the map, entry routes, peaks, peeking. It is just so good. And the third mode that I used to use a ton and now I use a bit less is the smokes practice. This is super helpful because if you're coming into a new map, you say, okay, I know Mirage, I know Dust, now I want to learn Inferno. You can use this mode to learn new smoke lineups very easily. And so when I was learning a bunch of new maps, and I still need to go in and learn some Ancient and Anubis util, and I'm gonna go do that pretty soon. I keep procrastinating it, to be honest. It's gonna give you like the basic must know these smokes. Some of them are pretty random, but it will contain like the must know smokes you need for this map. Recoil Master is a super simple and really great map for practicing your sprays. What I like about it is that there's a ton of ways you can customize it, so you can have it where you like follow the little line, the dots. You can remove that and just practice spraying against the middle of it, and then you can get feedback in the chat on like how well you did in your spray, which I find super nice. So I don't drill this over and over and over again, and maybe I should. My sprays have been kind of dookie recently, but I do suggest it. It's a great map. I still use it after nearly 3,000 hours of CSGO. It's awesome. Oh, now let's talk about the big one, the Wiprack Aim Trainer. Dude, this map is crazy. Ever since I found this, man, I use it like 2-3 times a week, and I mean, I use it. Like, I spend like at least 30 minutes in this map every time I play it. This is my go-to for if I would just want to spend like an hour just practicing, just improving, focusing on my aim, on my mechanics. This is my go-to map. I tried Aim Labs, and to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan. It didn't really feel like CSGO to me, like how CSGO actually feels, and this is a map in CSGO, so it feels like CSGO, so it's perfect. So there are 5 categories for you to choose from. There's speed, precision, flicking, tracking, and bursting. And I don't think that was the order, but oh well. Even though speed is kind of the flashiest and has some of the coolest modes, in my opinion, it's not the best mode. And I don't really use it all too much. I like speed for warming up. I don't use it when I'm hardcore just training my aim. What I do is I go in this order. So I'll start in precision. I'll go really slow, like it's kind of boring, but trust me, it's really important. When you first start out your training routine, you want to make sure you're 100% accurate. I just pretend like I'm calibrating my brain with the mouse and I'm getting that muscle memory like really down. And so I'll go through one by one and just kind of slowly increase my speed by every one. And then by the 5th one, I'm typically at about 80 to 100% speed by then. From precision, I then move on to tracking. And personally, I think the tracking one is really underrated. Not only is tracking pretty important in CSGO, but flicking onto moving targets is incredibly important. And that's an aspect of this mode that isn't really talked about, where you can flick between the moving objects and track them. And so I don't only use this to practice tracking, I also focus on my flicking here too. And then from there, I kind of warmed up my flicking with that. So then I move on to the flicking mode. I go one by one. That one's pretty simple. It's pretty fun. I like that one. That one I'm going 100% speed. I'm trying to not really think about it at that point. I'm just trying to go full muscle memory, just brain empty, boom, 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 to see how I'm doing. And then to tie it all up, I finish off with the burst mode. I think it's perfect to end with the burst mode because it kind of ties everything in together. You have to track the moving objects, you have to flick onto them. Especially if you go into hard mode or expert mode, then you have to be very precise with your burst. So I think it's a good culmination of all of them to finish off your aim training routine before you move on to DM or another map I talked about. All in all, I highly recommend this. It's gotten me really confident in my aim, and this is a great way to hone in and really focus on things you feel like are lacking in your aim. CSGO Hub is a super cool map where you have a ton of options to choose from. When you first load it up, you get kind of an aimbots like scenario, but I don't really use it for that, to be honest. What I really like this map for is the shuffle mode. In this mode, it spawns a bunch of bots. They're all kind of meandering, running around, ADing, and I think it's a great way to practice your bursts, your taps against moving people. If you go close to them, then you can start doing sprays and spray transfers. I think it's a really great way to practice your precision and taking that extra 0.2 seconds to make sure that your crosshair is on them, because I have a huge problem with panic spraying, and so this is a great way for me to go in and just be like, okay, I can take a little bit longer than I think I have to and make sure that I'm gonna get this kill, right? I also love it for opping. It's a great opping map. So I'll just sit in the middle, I'll crouch, scope in, peek up, and then flick onto somebody I see. That's a cool routine that I have. Anyways, it's a really cool map. They also have options for KZ, which I like. like, although I always get stuck on the latter part. And then they also have a surf map, which I don't think I've actually used yet. I like surfing. I don't know why I haven't tried it. I'm sure it's great. Personally, I'm not a big fan of rush modes. I don't think they're all that great. It's kind of aimbots like you're just clicking on horizontal heads, boom, 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 over and over again. So I don't love it, but to each their own. The last map I'm going to talk about is Betway Movement 1, and this is a KZ map that you can get on your workshop, and it's awesome. It's great. What I love about it is that it's not on the community browser. I don't have to open it and then see that it's downloading pinkfurry.jpg onto my computer. While KZ isn't like an essential aspect of CSGO, you're not jumping from little tile to tile in a real match. Oh my god, it makes you feel like a god, to be honest. Pretty recently started using KZ as a warm-up training routine, and it makes me feel so smooth in game. Like my movement just feels so much better. So even though it doesn't seem like a very important thing that you should be doing, I highly recommend it. Put some music on, chill out, practice your movement. Oh, it feels so good. And the great thing about this is that because it's in the workshop map, you can turn SV cheats on and then you can no clip if you want. So personally, fuck ladder movement. As long as I can go up the ladder and then just do the little side thing so I don't bump into my teammate, I'm cool. I don't need to know how to fly off of ladders like a madman. So I like to no clip past the ladder parts, to be honest. That is just me. So don't abuse it. You know, you should try to tackle difficult challenges, but that's just an option you have. So there it is. If you've been in a loss streak recently, go watch my video over here. It's really great. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you liked the video. Please subscribe. Thank you so much.